Uranium friends, let's check in on the space. So URA, good gauge for the space, right? So yeah, great little bounce here, but big time rejection and a support break with no follow through. So I'm starting to hear everybody's turning into Wycoff experts, right? So listen, Wycoff, it's a lot of people spend a lot of time and screen time and hours educating themselves on it. So it's not to be used lightly. There's a lot of misinterpretations out there. So I would just go easy personally on the Wyckoff thing. But on this daily chart, one could possibly say if you're going to play the Wyckoff game, hold on, we could have what looks to me more than anything else like a distribution pattern. So here's your high here correlating here. So what's going on now? Well, the reason why I'm starting to say this on URA on the daily here is because look, it's establishing some supports with a nearby local support too. So, um, all intents and purposes, you have to watch to see if this actually plays out. And nothing's perfect on Wyckoff, right? So there's nothing that says that it can't break the support a couple of times and come back up. That would be the nature of it. As long as in general, this support level that it's starting to establish and build a range here holds, then you could be thinking that there's a possibility of a distribution phase going on for the longer term play. You would only know that until you got to get a couple of you got to get a couple of tests on these highs. Now, if it fails to break or it breaks a little bit without follow through and you start to see downtrending again, well, then you can start to say, all right, maybe there is a Wyckoff model that's going to fit here. And it would most likely be a distribution model more than a accumulation pattern. So, I would keep that in mind. I tend to keep my technical analysis pretty simple. So as far as I'm concerned, it's in a daily downtrend. It had a nice little. It's actually more of a daily. Well, it lost its daily uptrend. It regained its daily uptrend with these past couple of 2 weeks, but then it's just one big smackdown. So if you go look at the weekly, it's just doing. It's really confirming. It's finally confirming a weekly downtrend with no follow through right now, because that's exactly what has happened, right? So you had your high. This is your ultimate. This is all one move. That was your low. You had your pivot as a lower high here at what 29.39. What is this exactly? 29.46, and this low breached this previous low. So this is a confirmed weekly downtrend without follow through. But what else is involved here is that still, like I've been talking about over and over with the space, the weekly 12 EMA rider all the way up. A couple undercuts, fine, yeah. So now you're getting the weekly 12 EMA rider down. So is it one of those situations where it looks, like this, not a lot of down, short period of time, into a next move up? That remains to be seen. But that's what I'm watching. This is why the weekly 12 EMAs for the space right now are pretty important, especially for the longer term minded people. All right. So that is URA and a little bit of a tidbit on Wyckoff. I would encourage you to check it out. It takes a lot of time. I found a long time ago it wasn't necessary for me to really get into the Wyckoff rabbit hole. So I keep my stuff simple because I can remain nimble. So URNM, very similar look, obviously, but daily 12 EMA resistance, riding it down consistently, making new lows, big time rejection here. So that's a huge red flag. And the weekly is going to do the same thing, right? Weekly 12 EMA rider. I can't even say, well, I guess that's a pivot here. So yeah, it's confirmed its weekly downtrend, right? Without follow through. Now we just have to see if there's follow through. You have to see how that plays out. So that's the same deal. Very similar looks with URA, and URNJ probably looks a little bit worse, right? Yeah, not as bad. I mean, the space, I guess, is just plain and simple. It's everything's doing the same exact thing, right? The weekly break, the confirming of the downtrend, no follow through. Weekly 12 EMA is the metric for the space at this time. So, yeah, I mean, everybody can come up with all these theories and anything they want. You want to try to follow Wycoff and make it fit your narrative, just go right ahead. But it's just not what it is. Okay, that's why I like to keep it simple. Daily and weekly downtrends we are in right now. Um, and it's just staying that way. All right. So until something changes, like I've said over and over, I've tweeted about it. Until the daily 12 EMA starts to become support, the move is down, and it's going to continue down until it breaks that pattern that it's starting to establish. The most you can hope for is some good sideways action. That would be the best case scenario across the board, because A, would give anybody who wants a chance to start accumulating, and B, there won't be so painful for the space. But just confirmed the weekly downtrend without follow through. So now you got to see if there's going to be follow through. All right, over and out.